All right, we are doing adding and subtracting polynomials. Here you have a trinomial because it has 3 terms, adding to another trinomial because it has 3 terms. What you need to do is you need to first find the highest exponent. The highest exponent will be this x squared, the square. Okay, that's what you're going to do first. So what you're going to do is you're going to write out, first write this out as if there is no parentheses. There's nothing in front of this parentheses so to multiply through and distribute, so I can go ahead and just rewrite it as 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. You can rewrite this one as well as negative x squared plus x minus 9. And again, it's because we don't have anything in the front of our parentheses, and this is not a negative, it's a positive one. So anything times 1 is itself, so therefore we can rewrite it. Now, from here, all you are doing is combining like terms. So again, the first ones that you have to add up are my x squareds. So I have 2x squared minus or plus a negative 1x squared, and 2 minus 1 is 1x squared, and you do not have to write the 1 in front of it, you can just write an x squared. Now the next term in line is the x, the linear term, so that is negative 3x plus, do I have another x in line? Yes, I do, a positive 1x, so negative 3 plus 1 is a negative 2x. Last but not least, now if you want to go ahead and cross these out as we use them, you can go ahead and do that just to keep track of what's left over to do and to add and simplify. So we have the constants, the constant terms. So we have 1 plus a negative 9, so 1 minus 9 is going to give you a negative 8. This is my standard form of the simplified version of this this polynomial expression right here. Now, again, you are simplifying, not solving. You are simplifying. So you're making something that's bigger, you're making it simpler, you're making it shorter. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 2. Okay, again, another plus, nothing in the front to distribute, so I'm going to go ahead and just rewrite what I have. And again, it's because I don't have anything in front to multiply in. All you're doing is multiplying by a positive 1. Now from here, my highest degree exponent is going to be this negative x cubed. Now since it doesn't have anything with it, there's no other x cubes around, I'm going to go ahead and write that down as a negative x cubed as my leader. This is my leader. So the leading coefficient is a negative 1. Remember, when you don't see it, it's a 1. Okay? In this case, it's a negative 1. Alright, so we went ahead and used the x cubed. Now I have the x squareds right here and right here. Please be careful. A lot of people will do negative 6 minus 6 and they'll go 0 right away. You don't do that. Negative 6x squared plus a negative 6x squared is not 0, it is negative 12x squared. Go ahead and cross those out. Now I need my linear term. The only linear term I see is this negative 2x. And now I need my constants that I can combine. So I have negative 7 plus 5, and that'll give me a negative 2. And this right here is my simplified standard form of this polynomial expression. Okay, let's move on to number 3. This one has a minus. Here I do not have a number to distribute in, so I can rewrite this without parentheses However, here you have a negative 1 outside, And when you have a negative 1 outside, that means that you have to multiply it and distribute it to every term on the inside. That means you have to multiply. So we got negative 1 times negative 6x squared, and that's going to give me positive 6x squared. And we're going to have negative 1 times a negative 2x, and that's going to give me a positive 2x. And we have negative 1 times a 4, and it gives me a negative 4. Okay, again, you're doing negative 1 times negative 6x squared, and then you're doing negative 1 times negative 2x, and then you're doing negative 1 times the positive 4. So you have to multiply every term to this negative 1 with this negative 1. All right, now once you have everything out of the parentheses and everything's lined up, we can go ahead and start putting this in standard form and simplifying, combining like terms. Do I have another x cubed anywhere? Nope, this is my highest because it has the highest exponent, so it's going to be my leader. My leading coefficient to this polynomial is going to be a negative 4 because it's the number in the front. Alright, now I need my x squareds. This is the only x squared I see, so I'm going to do a plus 6x squared. Know how when you're combining like terms, we're not touching the exponents, all we're doing is combining the coefficients. Alright, now let's go ahead and look at my x's. My x term is next. So I have a negative 8x plus a 5x plus a 2x. So negative 8x plus a 5x will give me negative 3x plus a 2x will give me negative 1x. So this is minus 1x. And we can go ahead and cross out all the x's. Now the only thing left to do is 9 minus 4, and 9 minus 4 is 5. So plus 5. Go ahead and box that, and that's the simplified standard form of this polynomial expression with a leading coefficient of negative 4. Now, since this has 4 terms, this would be a polynomial, and since my degree is 3, this will be a cubic polynomial. This will be a quadratic trinomial. This will be a cubic 1, 2, 3, 4 polynomial. That's when you're classifying. Alright, let's go ahead and look at this. We have a binomial added to another binomial. Since it's adding, there's nothing being multiplied into it. There's no numbers in the front of the parentheses, so I can go ahead and rewrite as I see it. Now I can go ahead and simplify my like terms, combine like terms. So I have a 1x squared minus a 3x squared, or plus a negative 3x squared. That'll give me a negative 2x squared. Now that'll go away, and the only thing left I have left is 1 plus 6, and that'll give me plus 7. And that's my answer. This is my simplified standard form of this polynomial expression. It's a binomial and it's a quadratic. Because of the degree is 2, it's a quadratic, and because I have 2 terms, binomial with a leading coefficient of a negative 2. Alright, don't feel alarmed when you have 3 of them. All you're doing is just taking it one step at a time. Here I'm distributing nothing, or just a positive 1, so that's just going to rewrite as 5x to the third plus 2. Here I'm distributing the negative 1, so that's negative 1 times 2x and negative 1 times 7. So that's going to give me a negative 2x and a negative 7. And then this, since I'm just multiplying by 1, this is just going to be plus 3x squared minus 2. Alright, now what's the first thing I see is this highest exponent is a cube. That's going to go first. I do not have any other x cubes to combine with it, so I'm just rewriting it down there. My leading coefficient, therefore, is now a 5. And this is a cubic polynomial. All right, so now what goes next from x cubed is the x squared. This is the only x squared I see, so I'm going to go ahead and just put plus 3x squared. Yes, you have to put things in order. I will take off if this polynomial is not in order. Not in standard form. All right, after x squared, you have an x. So that's the only x. I'm going to go to negative 2x. And now I have a 2 minus 7 minus 2. Now, number sense, I can do the 2 minus 2, and that'll give me 0. 0 minus 7 is a negative 7. Or you can do 2 minus 7 is a negative 5 minus 2 is a negative 7. This is a cubic. Four terms gives you a polynomial with a leading coefficient of 5. All right, let's look at number 6. All right, I can rewrite this, x squared plus 1, then plus 4x squared minus 8, but wait a minute here, I have to multiply by a negative 1. So this is negative 1 times 3x squared and negative 1 times a negative 2. So this gives me negative 3x squared plus 2. Now from here, I'm going to go ahead and the highest exponent is a degree of 2. The degree is the exponent of 2 because it's the highest exponent. Now this I have a 1x squared plus a 4x squared plus minus a 3x squared. And 1 plus 4 is 5, minus 3 is 2. X squared, and I can go ahead and cross those out. And now I have 1 minus 8 plus 2. Now 1 minus 8 is a negative 7, plus 2 is a negative 5. This is my simplified version of this polynomial expression. This is 2 terms, so it's a binomial. And because my degree is a 2, this is called a quadratic binomial, and with a leading coefficient of 2. All right, we will get more practice with that in the future assignments. So let's go ahead and look at number 7. All we're doing is classifying degree and number of terms. First, you have to make sure that it's in order. Is this in order? Yep, it has a 3, then a 1, and then a none. And this is a 2, and then a 1, and then a 2, and then a none, and then a 1. Okay, so here I have a leading coefficient. My leading coefficient is negative 2. My degree, remember that's the highest exponent, is a 3, so this is called a cubic. A cubic what? Well, how many terms do I have? I have 3 terms. And because I have 3 terms, this is called a cubic trinomial. Number 8, leading coefficient is a 4. Degree, again, highest exponent is a 2. So that is a quadratic. And again, we're going off of the table that are in our notes that we took. And the terms is 2 terms. Therefore, this is a quadratic binomial. Quadratic binomial. All right, let's look at number 9. This is also a quadratic binomial. Why? Because I have a degree of 2 terms, and my leading coefficient, something to add on, is 6. It's just, what is the leading coefficient? That's all we're going to have to ask you. What is the leading coefficient? 6. Why? Because it's in the front. That's it. And make sure that it's in order so that you can see what's in the front. All right, number 10, leading coefficient. -3. What is the degree? The degree is 1. Why? If you don't see it, you can put a 1. Okay? That's the highest exponent. That's called a linear term. When a degree is 1, it's linear. When a degree is 0, it's constant. That means that when you see just a number. When a degree is 2, it's quadratic. And when a degree is 3, it's a cubic. One term is called a, because this is one term, this is called a linear monomial. When it has 2 terms, it's a binomial. When it has 3 terms, it's a trinomial. And when it has 4 terms like this, it's called a polynomial. And again, constant, linear, quadratic, cubic. If it's a 4, it's called quartic. Anything higher, anything with a degree higher than a 4, you just say a degree of 5, degree of 6, degree of 7, degree of 8, yada, yada, yada. All right, so that is this assignment. Make sure that you have completed it, and please show your work, okay? That means I want to see you taking it out of the parentheses and you knowing how to combine your like terms, okay? Just don't put the answer. All right, show me that you actually know how to go from here to the end result.